Hey guys, it's me, Kevin. Just want to make a quick announcement for GWS and West Coast. I tipped GWS. Yep. Anyway, so let's go on to this week. On a Friday night at Adelaide Oval, Adelaide versus Western Bulldogs. I'm tipping Adelaide. I know they lost last week, but I can't see them defeating the Bulldogs. I mean, the Bulldogs, yeah, they've won their last few. I think they've won 3 in a row. But not at Adelaide Oval, sorry. In Adelaide, they only just lost, so. Saturday afternoon, North Melbourne versus GWS at Blundstone Arena. I'm tipping North Melbourne because it's in Tasmania. North Melbourne, they have a very good record over there. GWS haven't been playing all that well in the last few weeks, so yeah, I'm tipping North Melbourne. Also on a Saturday afternoon in Jingwon Stadium, I think you call it, in Shanghai, China. Gold Coast versus Port Adelaide on Saturday afternoon. I'm going to be tipping Port Adelaide. Gold Coast, their performance has been very disappointing. Haven't won a match since round 5 and haven't played a decent performance since round 2. Port Adelaide, they had a really good win last week, so they're probably going to be back to their best after their win last week. So I'm tipping Port. On a Saturday twilight at Etihad Stadium, at the MCG, Essendon versus Geelong. I'll be tipping Geelong. Essendon, they couldn't even defeat Carlton, who was previously winless. So, and Geelong, they're getting back to their best after a few hiccups. I mean, they played a great performance against GWS and then also defeated Collingwood at the MCG. So, yeah, I'm going to be tipping Geelong. On a Saturday night at Etihad Stadium, St Kilda versus Collingwood, I'm going to be tipping Collingwood. Well, I mean, St Kilda's performance has just been shocking. I mean, they haven't won a match since the first round of the season, bar the draw. Collingwood, they're like 50-50 right now. But Collingwood, well, they seem to be flat-track bullies right now, so I'm tipping Collingwood. Also, on a Saturday night at the SCG, Sydney versus Fremantle, I know Sydney's performance hasn't been that great at the SCG at the moment, but against Fremantle, I'm going to give Sydney one more chance to win there. Fremantle, I just feel they have not been performing all that well. I mean, they play well at Optus Stadium, but outside there, I can't see them winning anywhere right now. And even against St Kilda last week, Fremantle performance, it's alright, but it's very average at the moment, so Sydney it is. And besides, they just had a really good win to Hawthorn. Sunday afternoon at the MCG, Carlton versus Melbourne. I'll be tipping Melbourne. Why? Because Carlton, well, they had their first win last week, but hey, they've lost their first 7 before that. Melbourne, well, they've won 3 in a row, so I'm going to be tipping Melbourne. Sunday afternoon at the Gabba, Brisbane versus Hawthorn. Look, Hawthorn will want to be fighting off after their disappointing loss last week to Sydney. Brisbane, still winless. I can't see them snapping that losing streak, so I'm going to be tipping Hawthorn. And lastly, Sunday twilight, or in Western Standard Time, Sunday afternoon, at Optus Stadium, West Coast versus Richmond. You would not believe who I'm tipping. West Coast. Yeah, okay. Why am I tipping West Coast? Well, Richmond barely won at Etihad last week against North Melbourne. It just shows, if you take away the home crowd from Richmond, it just shows how much Richmond can stuff up. I mean, look, they still had parts of their crowd last week, even though it wasn't the majority. Well, they only won by 10 points. If you go to Perth, they play West Coast in front of 50,000 West Coast supporters. I can just see West Coast winning. Besides, they haven't lost since round 1. And you take Richmond's loss this year. That was against Adelaide in front of Adelaide's home crowd. So, I could be a bit wary if Richmond aren't playing at the MCG right now. So I'm tipping West Coast in a shock. So to recap the tips, I'm tipping Adelaide, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Geelong, Collingwood, Sydney, Melbourne, Hawthorn, and West Coast. Hope that helped you with your tippings. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and make a good comment. You can even try and, if you want to have a chat with me, I'm happy to do that as well. Anyway, and also post your own opinions. I'd like to see other people's opinions. So anyway, have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.